Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hip Horse. Tommy D along with Johnny Lowe. You made it to Kentucky Derby 148. We're hot on the trail here. Kentucky Derby 2022. We're breaking down the pedigrees with Johnny Lowe. Our last video, we did our top 5. We're going to bring it to you right now after the draw. But before we get to it, Johnny, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. It looks like we're a few days away here and most of the field has stayed intact.
Yeah, Johnny, it looks like it's going to be a good one. Even one of ours, Pioneer the Medina, sneaking in. That was on our number 5 list. But we're going to give you that list right now. Before we get into it, Johnny, we're talking pedigree. Every time on the Hip Horse, when you're looking at these picks for the Kentucky Derby and following, we're digging deep into the pedigree. When looking at this year's Kentucky Derby, what caught your eye? What really made you look at this and say, scratch your head at this year's Kentucky Derby when looking at the pedigree?
So this year's Kentucky Derby is very interesting. It looks like a battle of the sire lines. We've got 2 horses by Gunrunner, who's a first crop stallion here with Taba as well as Cyberknife, both 100-point winners. We've got a couple of horses by Race Day, who actually got sold to Korea. I can imagine the connections of Race Day might want to bring that horse back. The big strapping son of Tappet with Barber Road as well as White Abario. White Abario, obviously a 100-point winner. And then we have Pioneer of the Nile, who's since passed on, but he's got a couple horses in here with Pioneer of Medina as well as Tawny Port. They're 3 of the main, also we have Not This Time. Not This Time has a couple. He's got Simplification as well as Epicenter. These are pretty much the main, I'd say, stallion lines at this point with American Dirt Racing. The Awesome Again line is really good. Obviously, Nick Sko winning last year, son of Painter, who's the son of Awesome Again. The Uncle Mo line's been producing. We've got Mo Donegal in here. So there are a couple others, but for the most part, these are the 3 intact lines shooting a few bullets in here, and it's going to really come down to, I guess, whoever wins this race is going to take the throne until at least the Preakness.
Yeah, I mean, some strong pedigree in here, and when you got a couple of each, sires in there, definitely going to make it interesting. When you break it down, Johnny, I mean, when you have the same sire, are you diving deep down into the dams there? Is that what you're looking at, comparing the 2?
Yeah. So, for example, the difference I see between Taba and Cyberknife. So, Cyberknife is a horse that is he's by Gunrunner, the same as Taba. He's out of Awesome Flower by Flower Alley. Now, Flower Alley sired I'll Have Another in 2012, who won the Kentucky Derby. A lot of people look at that and say, great, okay, I've got a horse that won the Breeders' Cup Classic on top. Underneath, I've got a broodmare sire that sired a Kentucky Derby winner. Can't beat that. Well, I kind of look at it, and I'm not a huge fan of the cross. I think there's just a little bit too much Mr. Prospector inbreeding going on top and bottom for me for this 1.25 mile Kentucky Derby distance. It hasn't had very much success. The only winner that's had that kind of a cross in the history of the Kentucky Derby has been Mind That Bird at 50-1 up the rail. And he had a half sibling that also was by Mr. Prospector's stallion named Doulahan, who won the Pacific Classic in track record time, I believe. So there was just something that broodmare had going with those Mr. Prospector stallions that I think was very unique for that situation. Taba, on the other hand, is out of a flatter broodmare, Need More Flattery, and the broodmare line is a little bit better. Flatter is by AP Indy, who's by Seattle Slew. Flatter's a 1X stallion, meaning the fem line is the 1X family. I love that. I think it just brings so much more to the table with the pedigree and helping the horse get the distance. Now, if they were cut back to a sprint, something 6-7 furlongs, I think then I'd have to take a serious look at Cyberknife's pedigree. I think it's closer to maybe more of a one-turn type pedigree.
Yeah, Johnny, great information there, digging deep into the pedigree for everybody here on our picks here, guys. Johnny, one more thing. The post draw did come out. We saw the post. What are your thoughts on the post positions? Do you think this plays a major factor in the race?
I think a lot of people are going to read into it. It's kind of like when you sit down at the roulette table and you look at the numbers that have been popping up and you say, oh man, 25 has been on a hot streak. There's 3 25s in a row. Well, in reality, it's the same odds for 25 every time they spin. So for me with these post positions, yeah, there's some spots maybe trainers don't want to be in, maybe they do. with the straight gate now as opposed to the auxiliary gate, which might have been a little angled, and I felt like it created grouping from maybe the 6th position to the 12th position. It caused a little chaos. If you watched last year's, there was a couple horses that randomly jumped out of the gate and bumped into each other. But I think with this straight gate, it takes some of that away. There's not as big of a grouping, and maybe more of the horses that have speed should be able to get to the front. It is a smaller gate. It's not made for somebody, an assistant starter, to be in there. But these horses, I guess, are going to have to learn on the fly, and we'll see who adapts to it and who gets a little claustrophobic.
Yeah, Johnny, since he added the auxiliary gate, I think it's helped out at Churchill Downs in the big race. But you never know. Coming out of that gate, you got 20 horses. Most of these fields, this is the biggest field that they're ever going to race against. So 20 horses is tough to get around. So the post positions are drawn, and we're ready to go. What do you say we do our top 5 here for you? Pedigree picks, guys, here on the hip horse. Who do we got at number 5, Johnny?
Yeah, so number 5, we're going to take a son of Not This Time. I'm looking at Simplification. Simplification has done pretty well on the road. He's had a couple races that were better than others, but Simplification's pedigree, to me, passes the sniff test with Not This Time, who's by Giants Causeway. He had 9 runners in the Kentucky Derby, and I guess he's going to have 10 because Classic Causeway is going to run this one. And he's out of Simply Confection by Candy Ride. It's a really nice cross here. I go into more depth in our original top 5 video if you want to check that out.
Yeah, Johnny, Simplification finished 3rd in the Louisiana Derby. He did win the Fountain of Youth, but this, what I like about this bay colt, it shows up every time. Simplification shows up every time on the track for Antonio Sanyo, the trainer. I like this 3-year-old, and if he could take a step forward, he should be right in the mix at a decent price. That's number 5, Simplification. Who do we got at number 4?
So number 4, I'm going to go with the son of Pioneer of the Nile, Pioneer of Medina. This is a nice long shot here. I think that taking the blinkers off is going to help. The horse, he might get more engaged with the other horses around him, and he likes to be forwardly placed. I think with his breeding, Pioneer of the Nile, who sired American Pharaoh, who won the Kentucky Derby. He's out of Lights of Medina by Escandarea. That's a lot of stamina right there on the bottom side, and I think this horse should actually like the mile and a quarter. His last trip, a mile and 3/16. He kicked the jockey off before the race. The outrider had to run him down. I don't know how much energy it took out of him, but I'm sure it took something. I think he might be more prepared for this one.
Yeah, Todd Pletcher, no stranger to the Kentucky Derby. 59 starters, only has won it twice with Super Saver and Always Dreamin' are the 2 winners there. Joe Bravo gets the call, 0 for 3 in derbies, but did get a 3rd place with Danza, his best finish. But Pioneer of Medina, 3rd in the Louisiana Derby last time out. And you know what Todd Pletcher is saying about him? He's coming, he's training well, he's improving each race. So Todd Pletcher, a great horseman, giving Pioneer of the Medina the call here. That's number 4 on our hip horse list. Who do we got at number 3, Johnny?
So at number 3, I'm going to take Messier. So Messier is by Empire Maker. He's out of Checkered Pass by Smart Strike. It's not really the exact pedigree cross that I would like to see, but the bottom side is very productive, and he's forwardly placed. I think people think he's going to be the speed of the race. Johnny Velasquez, if you've taken note off his ride with Authentic as well as his ride last year with Medina Spirit, he's not afraid to go to the lead. I don't know if this horse has that kind of speed out of the gate for some of these, but he might, and I'm pretty sure that the way they're planning on running this race is to have him towards the front. We'll see how much he has coming down the lane.
Yeah, Tim Yachtine trains taking over for Bob Baffert. He was Bob Baffert's assistant at one time. Johnny V is one of the only 5 jockeys to win the Kentucky Derby 3 or more times there. One with Animal Kingdom, Always Dreaming, and Authentic, which you just mentioned there. Messier will be starting from the 6th post. We have had 2 winners, Sear Hero and Iron Liege. I mean, Messier did lose the Taba last time out, but this one looks pretty solid here. Johnny V aboard, strong connections. I mean, the high hopes going into the Santa Anita Derby were high, Johnny, and they still are high out here. So that's number 3 on the list, Messier. Who do we got at number 2?
So our number 2 and our number 1 pick, I think, stand head and shoulders above the other ones. I think pedigree-wise, it's very similar with our number 2 pick as with our number 5 pick. We're looking at Epicenter, number 2. He's by Not This Time. He's out of Silent Candy by Candy Ride, so it's the exact same cross. The one hole I see underneath is on the fem line. I don't see a whole lot of production, which does scare me a little bit, but maybe this horse's class from his stallion and broodmare might be able to get him over the hump. And he did really well at a mile and 3/16. He ran a huge race. He can relax, he can stalk, he can come a little bit off the pace, or he can go to the front. Either way, he's fine. So I think with Joel Rosario, we've got the Dominican from Santo Domingo aboard, and this horse should run a big race.
There we go. Joel Rosario won the Kentucky Derby with Orb in 2013, Johnny. Epicenter sitting in the 3-post. Last horse to come win out of the 3-post was Real Quiet in 98. Steve Asmussen, 23 Derby contenders over the time, Johnny, has yet to win the big one. This is probably his best chance he's seen in a long time. Morning line 7-2 after the draw. Zandon is the morning line favorite here, 3-1, so you're getting 7-2 here on Epicenter currently. That obviously might change when the race goes off, but Epicenter number 2 on the Derby list. Who do we got at number 1, Johnny?
Yeah, so at number 1 we're going to take Taba. Taba's by Gunrunner. He's out of Need More Flattery. He's by Flatter. Taba's done nothing wrong. This horse is an absolute monster. It's a machine. We've got Mike Smith aboard. I love everything about it. I think the horse breaks real alertly. It gets out of the gate fast. Even in the Santa Anita Derby, if you watch it again, he outbroke Messier by over a length. And Mike Smith made the call to say, hey, listen, we'll let Messier go out there and try to catch Forbidden Kingdom. Even give Forbidden Kingdom whatever rein he wants. I think we can run him down in the end. And the strategy ended up working. Obviously, Taba's enormous strides and his tank-like build propelled him to the front. I can't believe he's 12-1 morning line. I'm not sure where they got that number from, but he's a horse where I think is going to be the most formidable in this race. He could probably overcome traffic trouble. I mean, there's a couple of factors here that I think that some other horses, if they run into the same kind of trouble, aren't going to be overcome. And in a race this big, I want the horse that's probably going to be able to make up the most length down the stretch.
There we go. Number 1, Taba on the list, 12-1. Johnny, if we could get that, we'll be excited here. This 3-year-old, colt, lightly raced, but showing up both times, winning nicely. You get Money Mike Smith aboard. Johnny V jumps over to ride Messier. Money Mike Smith sneaks in, and he's happy about it. And Johnny, I know having a conversation with him recently, he's high on the horse here. So that's Taba, number 1 on the hip horse list here. Anything else we should talk about before we get out of here, Johnny?
So 4 horses that I left off the list that are all the AP Indy line or Seattle Slew line or whatever stallion in the line you want to go back to. They're getting recognition. Zandon, who's by Upstart, who's by Flatter, who's by AP Indy, who's by Seattle Slew. He's the 3-1 favorite. I left him off the list. I think he's going to end up being a deep closer. Too far back for me, although Flavian Pratt has, with Country House a few years ago, he's proved that he can ride in a Derby. You've got Barber Road, White Barrio, we've talked about, who are both by Race Day. Race Day is by Tappet. White Barrio has been doing nothing wrong. He's 4 for 5. The only race that he lost was a race with Smile Happy and Classic Causeway, where I don't think it really set up for him, and he didn't really run his best, although that was the only time he shipped out of Gulfstream Park, and that was our look at what he did at Churchill Downs. Losing by 6 lengths at Churchill Downs was definitely a negative for me. And then the other horse, Charge It. Charge It's by Tappet. Tappet, I think at this point, it's like 0 for 13 or 14 in the Kentucky Derby. I'm going to say that the horse will have a chance to hit the board. I don't think he's got the talent to win the race.
Hey, Johnny, I mean, this field looks exciting and looks like a very competitive field. And even a couple that did not make the top 5 that look like some serious contenders here. But we're feeling pretty good about the top 5. Johnny Lowe breaking down the pedigree. We gave our top 5. Also, make sure to go back and watch the video, the full video, and I'll put it in the link after this so you guys could get right on that and pay attention to what Johnny's digging into in the pedigree side there. Kentucky Derby 148. Hit that like, subscribe, ring the bell. We're also doing a contest over on that other video, guys, so make sure you get involved. Anything else, Johnny, before we get out of here? We are so close to the big day.
Yeah, definitely go check out that contest. It's a $50 giveaway. all you got to do is like, subscribe. Well, you just have to subscribe, put a comment in the bottom, and watch the video. So good luck this weekend. Hopefully everybody's got their derby picks nailed down, and if we're wrong, I hope you're right.
There we go, guys. Tommy D, Johnny Lowe, the Hip Horse. We appreciate you, and we'll catch you next time here on the Hip Horse.